January was my Mick Bling Western Pop phase. What the is Mick Bling Western Pop? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of the day you're listening. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Dante on Deck. Like last week, like always, my name is Dante Toro. Thank you guys for joining me for episode 2 of Talking to Myself. I really appreciate all the love, the support, the kind words and reception to episode 1. I am so thrilled that you guys enjoyed it. There were so many of you that tuned in and, are looking forward to the second one. I appreciate, just to launch the channel, the podcast came out last week and I've had 2 other wrestling videos come out since then that have done well thanks to you guys, of course, and I really appreciate the early excitement of the channel. Knowing that it didn't flop and that you guys want me to keep doing this, it's really nice to know that. So I'm excited to be back here for episode 2. Episode 1 was kind of like a rundown of how the show was going to be, what it would entail, what I'd be talking about, blah, 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 yada. Didn't really have much structure, have any subjects or, topics to go off or whatever. But this week, I do. So this week, I mentioned last week, I talked about Disney, my trip to Disney a little bit. I wanted to get into that Disney adult talk a little bit towards the end. I want to talk about what's popular right now, 2 of the most popular video games, today, OG Fortnite and the new Black Ops 6 games. I want to talk about that for a little bit. And first, before we get into any of that, I want to talk about what probably is going to be the title of the video, how Spotify Wrapped is a scam. Yes, okay, so Spotify Wrapped came out last week, as we all may know. If you are a Spotify user, you probably have been looking forward to it for the last few months, because that's what Spotify Wrapped has become. It has become this global thing where everyone collectively finds out their top streamed artists, songs out, and then Spotify doesn't do albums, Apple does. I don't know why Spotify doesn't, but we find it out, everyone posts it on their stories, whatever, and then we talk about it and we complain about it. First of all, I want to say Spotify Wrapped is not accurate. I don't think it's accurate at all. I think you have, I came out with my top 5 artists and songs, and I'm looking at this, and I have this other app. It's called stats.fm. If anyone's familiar with it, maybe you've heard of it or something similar to it or not, but that also tracks your music for the year. And admittedly, I do. I look at it throughout the year. I kind of wish I didn't, because it kind of leaves you more, surprised to see what it may be. But at the end of the day, if it's not accurate, if Spotify isn't accurate, then what's the fucking point? Also, before I get into the top 5 songs and artists and stuff, every single year, we look forward to Spotify Wrapped. It's like they had these other, not even just top 5, whatever, but they have these extra pages of this month you listen to this the most, or this month you are feeling this way, or whatever it may be. But it's like every single year, it gets worse and worse and less. This year, they had phases, seasons, and moments, I guess. I had 3 of them. January was my Mick Bling Western Pop phase. What the fuck is Mick Bling Western Pop? Mick Bling sounds like a McDonald's diamond necklace, a diamond chain or something like that. Mick Bling Western Pop is not a thing. What was I listening to in January that deserves the criteria of a Mick Bling? It sounds like I'm getting that out of a Happy Meal or something. April was my bougie catwalk rap season. I know what rap is. I don't know what bougie catwalking is. Bad and Bougie, the Migos. Maybe I listen to the Migos in April a lot. Catwalk. What does this mean? July was my funny wrestling theme songs moment. That makes sense, but what's a moment? What do you mean I had a moment in July where I was listening to funny? There's nothing funny about it either, okay? This fire burns where my light. There's nothing funny about it. No, realistically though, it makes no sense. I'm going to go over my top 5 songs and artists, and I'd love to hear back from you guys of who was in your top 5 songs and artists, and if you think it was accurate or not, because my number 1 song was I Had Some Help by Morgan Wallen and Post Malone. Now, let me make this very clear. I love Post Malone. When this song came out, I did listen to it a lot initially because it was being teased. There was snippets on Post and Morgan's Instagram stories, TikTok, whatever it may be. It sounded like it was going to be a good song. So when it came out, I listened to it a lot. It's the summertime. It's country season. I'm going to be listening to country music. But for it to be my number 1, I don't know. I don't know about that, because I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to give you my top 5, and I'm going to tell you what my top 5 is. for Stats FM. Similar but different enough where I think Spotify is a scam. So my top 5 songs of Spotify were, I had some help, like I just explained, Post Malone, Morgan Wallen. This Fire by Killswitch Engage, best wrestling theme song of all time. I listen to that song all the time at the gym. I probably listen to it 5 times at the gym alone. Fires me up. Always get me going. Hey, this fires me up. Get it? Okay. Dial Drunk, Noah Khan, Post Malone, number 3. I love this song. I think this was my number 1 last year. Excuse me. This was my number 1 last year, but I didn't think it led into 2024, at least not number 3. I mean, I guess I've listened to it, like, it's a good song, but I didn't think it would be in my top 5. Number 4 and 5, both Zach Bryan songs. Burn, Burn, Burn at number 4, 9 Ball at 5. These two I can get behind because, like I mentioned, country summer. I listen to a lot of country during the summer. Zach Bryan, I went to his concert in the middle of the summer. So around that time, I was listening to a lot of his music, so I get that. But I really would have thought Burn, Burn, Burn was my number 1 just because I listened to that song so much. So the fact that it's number 4, and this is like flipped. Like if this was flipped the other way, I think I'd understand it. But that right there, the songs, artists, for the most part, it really isn't that bad. It's really towards the end that I have an issue. So we go Zach Bryan, J. Cole, Post Malone, Future, and then Drake. Now, I don't want to sound like a Drake hater. I'm not. I do like Drake. I think Drake's early music, Take Care, So Far Gone, Nothing Was the Same, even What a Time to Be Alive, and If You're Reading This Is Too Late. Bangers. Love those albums. His newer music, I think you can take a song or two from those, and you can find some good songs in a 20-song project, but for the most part, not the biggest fan of his new work. He had a huge beef with Kendrick, but my thing is I 1000% listen to more Kendrick than I did Drake. So if Drake is on here, Kendrick should be on here, but higher. Zach Bryan, I get him being my number 1 because, again, I went to him during the summer, saw his concert, listened to him during the summertime, country season. J. Cole, number 2. He would have been number 1 if his mixtapes came out like a month earlier, because J. Cole's always consistently in like my top 3 threshold, but he was number 2 this year, whatever. Post Malone, number 3, that's fine. I love Posty. I love his new music. I love his old music. Love Posty. Future came out with 3 albums this year. It's going to be hard for him not to be on here. And then Drake, because there's a way of doing this. I'm not sure if you guys know. On Spotify, you're able to see who's in your top 20. So you go to like an artist page, click share, and if they're in your top 20, you'll have a page to share that says like this artist was number whatever. Mac Miller was 6 and Hosier was 7 for me. I would have put down a shit ton of money on the fact that they would have been higher than Drake on my Spotify top 5 list. So I have an issue with that. I'm going to tell you who is on my stats.fm list. If you guys have this app, I'd love to hear who you have on there. If you don't, hopefully I'm putting you on. Maybe I'm putting you on to this. But so my top tracks 2024. Now, I also want to say they stopped tracking. I think they said they stopped tracking like middle of November. So there might be a few like extra, days that they cut off. But I really don't think that makes much of a difference, for me at least. Number 1 song was Red Leather by Future and J. Cole. Not crazy surprised by that because it's like a 7-8 minute song. So if you listen to it once, it's going to climb up. Burn, Burn, Burn by Zach Bryan. Would have thought that was number 1, but number 2, okay. Dial Drunk. I didn't think I listened to it that much, but I believe Stats FM a lot more than Spotify at this point, so I'll roll with it. This Fire at 4, and then Selfish by Justin Timberlake at 5. I'll admit it, Justin Timberlake came out with a new album this year. Wasn't a big fan of it, but Selfish was the first single that came out. I love Justin Timberlake, so I listened to it a lot. That's my top 5 songs. Artists: J. Cole, Zach Bryan, Post Malone, Future, and then Mac Miller. Mac Miller's number 5. He's always in my top 5. That's why I was so confused. Like, that's Zach Bryan, J. Cole got flipped. That's probably because the mixtapes came out the last few months, and that may be why J. Cole's number 1. Probably is why he's number 1. But the point being is I'm at that point where Spotify always, like year after year, was like, oh, I don't know if this is right. I don't know if this is accurate. But it's like, I don't know. It's not enough to like think this is fake or this is a scam. But after seeing so many people complain about how inaccurate it is and all this stuff, I'm genuinely starting to believe that Spotify puts artists, like specific artists and songs in people's top 5s to promote that stuff or to create a controversy to get people to talk about it. So like this is just classic marketing 101, is promoting 101, is like a sports media site, ESPN, will put out a top 10 list of the NBA players active today. You will never find a list that is truly accurate and something that you'll be like, oh yeah, like I think there's nothing wrong about this list, because they want people to argue about it. They want people to find something wrong with it, because that gets people talking, gets people to promote the page. In this case, Spotify Wrapped. People are always posting Spotify Wrapped every single year. It's not for that one day that it comes out. It's on everyone's Twitter. It's on Instagram. It's everywhere. So, and a lot of it most of it might be negative, but you're still talking about Spotify. So, I can't prove if that's true or not, but just in years past, and this happened last year too with Drake. I feel like I didn't listen to him that much, but he was still in my top 5. I feel like there's some sort of agenda. I feel like there's some sort of, I don't know, there's something going on behind the scenes, I think, where Spotify is kind of just, planning those other artists in there for us to talk about it. I don't know how accurate it is. I like Stats FM a lot more because it is like you can check it all the time and stuff, so I do believe it is more accurate, but man, Spotify Wrapped really is a scam. It's such a shame. It used to be something to look forward to every year, and it's like now I open it up and I'm just clicking. I'm like, Catwalk, McBling, Drake. Like no, like that's no, not it for me. So that's my little rant about Spotify Wrapped. Again, put in the comments who is on your Wrapped, who is in your top 5 artists, songs, and also albums. I know Apple Music does that. Let me know who's in your top 5 albums as well if you use Apple Music. But yeah, absolutely ridiculous. I'm sick of it. Let's move on to something a little bit more enjoyable, at least for me. Let's talk about OG Fortnite. OG Fortnite is finally back. It has been teased. It has been, all right, I'm not saying I'm the only one that has been saying this or pushing for it, but I have said for the longest time, if Fortnite just added back the OG seasons, make it like its own separate mode, like you can just go in there and then do other seasons, you will make so much money. Like that is literally what people want. Now, Fortnite, I think, is arguably the best game out today. I'm not like big on some PC games. I can't say that I play every single game, but on like console at least, like I play Fortnite all the time. I think it's one of the best games because of how creative, how unique it is, and how they're able to evolve over time. They've been out for what, 7 years now, almost 8 years, and it's like every single year, whether it's the events or guns or skins. Like, what other game can you have Peter Griffin, Snoop Dogg, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and like John Cena on the same team? Like, it's ridiculous how creative they are and how they're always able to add new things. And they've had some ups and downs, of course. Like any video game, like they're gonna have a season where it's not as good as the one before. The rewards aren't as good, but they were always able to keep people on the game. And now that they brought in OG, like that's it. Because now they have OG. They're starting a new like team deathmatch game mode. They have all the creative stuff, build, no build. Fortnite, they know what they're doing. They really know what they're doing. I have been playing it a good amount. I won't say I've been playing it a shit ton, but I love OG Fortnite. I just hate it when I get to the point of the game where I'm just getting absolutely rained down upon by a sweaty 12-year-old that hasn't done their homework in weeks, or an unemployed person. No offense that describes anyone. I'm not trying to take shots and be mean, but it's like, really, it's like I get on, I play, like last night, I came in top 5, right? I had a few kills going into it, but like I figured they were bots. They just added bots in the game, which I'm upset about. But then I get to a kid. I get top 5. I see a kid for half a second. Before I know it, I've been mowed down. I am dead. I spectate, and he kills everyone in less than a minute. That's frustrating, but at the same time, it's like I feel the same way about like a Call of Duty, where it's like that frustration means that it's good. Like it's like I'm losing to a kid that's better than me, but like the game isn't supposed to be easy, right? And that's why I'm upset they added bots to the game, because adding bots just makes it easier for people. Those are for people that are always complaining it's too hard, it's this and that. But it's like the joy that you feel from getting a win. Like when Fortnite years ago, when you get a win, that was a rarity. Unless you're tapped at these video games or whatever. It's a rarity. It is the best feeling in the world. Now, it's like you can be top 5 and the last 4 can be bots. And it's like, what's the feeling there? What's the good feeling you get out of that? So that's the only part of it that really kills me. But shout out Fortnite, man. They are on top of their shit. They are on top of their game. Let me know where you're dropping. If you like OG Fortnite or regular Fortnite, I haven't played any of the new season yet, because if OG's out, why am I going to play the new one? You know what I mean? So let me know what you think, if you've been checking it out, if you've been liking it. And while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about Black Ops 6, which I think is the best Call of Duty since probably Black Ops 3. I know they had Modern Warfare, I think it was 2019. That was highly acclaimed. I didn't play it too much, so I don't really have much of an opinion as anyone else. But like Vanguard, Cold War, last year was Modern Warfare 3, not a big fan. I've always been a Black Ops guy. I personally think Black Ops 1 and 2 are the best Call of Duties ever. I know Modern Warfare 2, the OG, is like, I get it. It's like everyone says it's the best. I think I didn't admittedly play that one as much as I played like Black Ops 1 or 2. I put in so many days to Black Ops 2, it's disgusting. I understand how popular Modern Warfare 2 was, the noob tubing, the maps, the sniping, this and that. I think it's a lot of it might be nostalgia based. Black Ops 1 and 2, just the physics, the gameplay of it, the physics, the graphics, whatever, just the movements and everything, and the zombies. That's what gets me. Now, not everyone's zombies, people, so that's kind of what can change someone's opinion of, oh, they like this one more than the other because they don't really fuck with zombies, so it's not important to them. Zombies, to me, is like a staple. I think Black Ops 2 has the 4 best zombie maps ever. Like, at least 4 of the top 5 or something like that. Black Ops 6, I think, has been great in the sense of it's different. The mechanics are different. Some of the maps are some of the maps aren't great. Some of the maps are cool, but the zombies is really fucking sick this year. The new map they just added, it's Citadel des Morts, I believe it's called. Really awesome free DLC map. The first two, Liberty Falls and Terminus, they're fine. Liberty Falls is like a bigger map. I think it's easier to like grind for high rounds and get camos. Terminus is a little bit more like a little bit more challenging, but I love playing the directed mode. You can cap off at a round. I love camo grinding. I love the new camos. I love the zombie camos more than the multiplayer camos. I think they're much better to grind, a lot cooler. But yeah, those are the two games I'm playing a lot right now. I'd love to hear your feedback and your thoughts on what you think of those games because they're both hot right now. Black Ops just had their like reloaded. They added some new maps, some new stuff in the holiday Nuketown. They have a few new things going for them, which is really cool. So let me know what games you're playing. If you're playing these two, if there's other games. I know there's a new Marvel's game that just came out that is getting rave reviews. I actually do want to check out and stuff. So let me know what you're playing, whether it's Black Ops 6, Fortnite, or something else. And if you hate these games, let me know why. Okay, so let's move on to our last thing here. This isn't like, again, I've talked about this before. I don't want this to be like a segmented like topics podcast or nothing like that where we're just going through, all right, we're here. Like I have a few topics I want to talk about, but I don't want it to be like segmented like that. I do have one quote unquote segment that we're going to get to at the end of this that I did mention I wanted to do, but let's talk about Disney. Let's talk about Disney adults and this stereotype around Disney adults. I respect the shit if you're a Disney adult. Excuse me. I respect the shit out of you if you are a Disney adult because if I had the money for it, I would go all the time. I went with my family a few weeks ago for the very first time. I'd never been to Disney before, any Disney park. I never me and my family, like my mom, my stepdad and stuff. Growing up, we had like our weekly trip to New Hampshire with my grandfather, my family, cousins back in the day, but we've never like flown. Like we've never done like a Disney trip. Like we fly together, go anywhere. So I was able to have this experience, share this experience with my mom, my stepdad, my girlfriend Taylor, my cousin Kyle and Rochelle, their son Braxton, who I am just so appreciative and I love them so much because they put this together. They know I've never been before and they made sure that we hit every single park, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot. Epcot has been on my bucket list, drinking around the world forever, and getting to experience that was like anything else. That's going into Disney. I didn't know if I'd like it because I don't know, like Disney movies. I like a lot of them. I've seen a lot of them, but there's some stuff I don't know about and some things I'm not too into, like Star Wars. I haven't seen any of the Star Wars. I know through Lego Star Wars, I know what happens, but like the Star Wars stuff, like I don't know if I'd like it. I don't know if I'd appreciate it as much, but everything there was fucking sick. The rides. I went on Tron. I went on the railroad one, Everest. I went on Guardians of the Galaxy was fucking sick. And like the other ones, like Ratatouille, the Star Wars one. What's the other one I went on? Space Mountain was another was another roller coaster that I went on. Oh, Avatar. Avatar is the other one. So much fun. And I'm not the biggest ride person, so like if there's a ride that I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. Tower of Terror I didn't do. I'm not a big fan of that, but there weren't really many rides that I was like, I'm not doing that. It was so much fun. Like I said, we hit every single park, and every time I went, and I kept saying, I was like, I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record. Everything was just down to like the tiniest detail. It just, the whole operation, it just runs so smoothly. How everyone's so committed. Everyone's like sticks to the bit. Like the characters, the workers, just how someone pointed out to me, like as you're walking down Magic Kingdom going to the castle, it's like the building's like, I forget the exact words, but like it's an illusion. So it makes it seem like it's farther away or whatever the fuck. It is nuts what they have going on there. There's so many more parks in the world. I was told Animal Kingdom alone was bigger than all the other parks there combined. That's baffling. It's like one of the biggest parks. It was one of the biggest parks in the world before another one, Disney, got built, whatever. I envy you if you're a Disney adult, because it's like if I had the opportunity to go every other month, like money is not a factor, I'm going. Like forget bring like if I'm a dad. I'm talking about like me, like now, 26 years old, no kids, nothing. Like I want to go tomorrow. Like what do they call it? They call it the most magical place on earth. Hell fucking yeah, it is. I was there from Wednesday to Sunday. I had a blast. It was so much fun. If I had the chance to go to Disney all the time, I really would. I had the time of my life when I was there. I felt like I had more fun than my 5-year-old cousin. It was just a blast. I really like, if you've never been, go. You got to go once. And if you judge people that are Disney adults, so there's this big stereotype. If you haven't gone, don't knock it till you try it. Because that's who I was. I was like, I don't get people that do this all the time, but now that I've been there, I get it. I really do. So shout out Disney, shout out Mickey Mouse, and shout out to all the Disney adults out there, because honestly, I'm jealous of you. So we're done with that. We're going to move on to our last thing here, our last segment. This is really the only segment that I really want to have for this show, but we are back with comment of the week, not sponsored by Chipotle. I'm going to say it's not sponsored by Chipotle until we get sponsored by Chipotle. It's Chipotle. If you are watching, if you have anyone, you work at Chipotle, you're a manager, you're this or that, put in a good word for me. I really appreciate it. I need that. I need that Chipotle card. Chipotle, hit me up. It'll be the best thing you've ever done. Okay. So I have 5 comments here. I want to pick 5 comments a week. I'm not going to include names or anything like that. I'll put the, I'm not going to put it on the screen because I'd have to cut off some stuff. If you guys want me to like put it on the screen and stuff, you want me to include it, let me know. I just don't want to like include it without letting anyone know. So, okay. The first comment we have, hey Dante, I don't know if you'll read this, but I'm a sophomore in high school, and for a couple of years now, I've been dreaming of becoming a pro wrestler. I love it with all my heart, and I really want to entertain people. But sometimes I catch myself wondering, am I good enough, or what if I fail? Even with those doubts, I'm still going to go for it because it's my passion. Sorry for making this so long, but I felt comfortable sharing it here. By the way, I really enjoyed the first episode. First of all, thank you for feeling comfortable enough to post this. I'm so happy that you were able to feel comfortable to share this, and that's something I want to build that community here. I want to, create that comfort space where people can comment things and not feel like they're being judged by any means. So I appreciate you putting that. Thank you for enjoying the episode. And, when it comes to those, you catch yourself wondering these thoughts, these doubts, like it's normal to have, these thoughts go through your head, these doubts. I myself, a lot of time find myself going through these negative thoughts, but at the end of the day, they're just thoughts. It's not what you really think. And not only yourself, but other people, like if anyone tells you you're not good enough or asking if you're good enough, they're telling you you're going to fail, like fuck them, forget about them. Like use that as motivation to push yourself, because, you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. So don't worry about those doubts. It's normal to have to think that way, but you're not going to fail. You are good enough. And I am so proud of you for knowing what you want to do at such a fun age, at such a young age. It's fun, like, being able to, work towards something. And you're very passionate about it, and I really am rooting for you. And please keep updating me. I would love to know your journey of it, how everything's going, because I think you're gonna be a huge star. So thank you for putting that comment, and keep working. All right, the next comment is now the real hard-hitting questions. What's your Chipotle order and favorite Celsius flavors? Okay, favorite Celsius flavors, I'll start with that. Right now I'm on a big cola binge. It tastes just like Diet Coke. It's not as good as it used to be. It's hit or miss. Some people might like it, some people might not. I love cola. I love Peach Vibe, I believe it's called, and then Arctic Vibe. Those two vibes. I think it's called Peach Vibe. I could be wrong. And then like kiwi guava and watermelon are two staples. So I'd probably say those ones are my favorite, but I haven't had like every single flavor. I don't like the non-fizz, non-carbonated ones. I need some carbonation in there. So those ones, no. What's your Chipotle order? Okay, so I feel like every now and then I kind of add and subtract things to my Chipotle order, but I do have some like staples. They're always there. So I always get double chicken because I'm a fat ass. I always get a little bit of brown rice. Well, sometimes I get a little bit of brown rice, the corn salsa, fajita veggies, which is unbelievable. I don't know why no one ever told me about them or like recommended them to me. I'd never get them. And I started getting them months ago. Now I get double. I get extra. They're so good. Guac and cheese. Now I can sometimes swap in like pinto beans, take out the rice, the corn. Honestly, the corn has been a staple the last few months. That's another thing where it's like I can't believe no one like told me like, hey, you should try it out. It makes it so much better. So that's my Chipotle order right now. Let me know what yours is. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Celsius flavors and Chipotle orders are, because you can really mix and match a lot of things. So I'm very curious to hear what you guys get. Okay, what is your top 5 hip hop albums of all time? Stash Club Wrestling for Life. Okay, this one's gonna be on the fly, so you gotta bear with me. There's a difference between like favorites and then top 5. I'm gonna go off what I think is the best rap albums ever. Top of mind, I think of Illmatic by Nas. I think of Ready to Die by Biggie. I think of what are some other good ones I can think of? So yeah, I should have prepared. I should have prepared for this one a little bit more, but maybe one day I can make a list of like top 5 albums, songs, like certain genres or whatever. Get Rich Die Tryin' by 50 Cent, absolutely, I believe is a top tier hip hop album. I think there's so many just hits on there. So what is that? Is that 3? Is that 3 that I have? Let's go with, I want to throw I'll say To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick. It's not my most favorite Kendrick album, but at the same time, it's like, I understand its importance and how amazing it is. It is an amazing album. It's just not one that I go back to and revisit all the time. But I do think it is his best album. Not my favorite, but his best. And then a 5th one, what could be? Oh, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye, for sure. I think Illmatic, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, To Pimp a Butterfly, for sure. I'll have to think about that. That I'm just giving you that right now. I'm not saying etched in stone or anything, but at the top of my head and off first look, I would say those are the top 5 hip hop albums of all time. Let me know what yours would be. But yeah, maybe I'll do a video on that someday. Okay, next comment, second to last one. If I could afford to go to Disney all the time, I would be a Disney adult. I've been to Disney World 3 times and Disneyland once. I want to try and visit other Disneys all over the world. Facts, I agree. If I could go to Disney World all the time, I would be a Disney adult. I'm glad we're on the same page here. You have gone more than me, which I do envy, but now that I have been to Disney once, I do want to visit all the other parks and kind of like compare and contrast. So hopefully I can catch up to you one day, but 100%. Okay. Last comment before we sign off here. This person goes, fan-fucking-tastic. I was waiting for you to start your solo run. I appreciate you and your goal of helping people. I have a few stories to share, but YouTube comments aren't the best place for that. So I'll say in short that, man, you, John, and Sophie have been the support I needed for a long time. Sometimes I just need a white noise in the background. I would start your old quizzes to help. And I don't know where I'd be right now if it wasn't for you 3. Stash Club Wrestling is my go-to anytime I need it. I'm happy to see a fellow 98 baby striving in life and creating a platform for people to share their stories. Congratulations on everything you've accomplished and good luck with this project and other project in your life. First of all, thank you for such kind words, your support of Stash Club Wrestling and this channel as well. Hearing, I mentioned it before, like hearing how people can connect to Stash Club Wrestling, that content, and whether it's white noise in the background or it's like you're intently watching, playing along, like whatever it may be, like I'm so appreciative that you guys can take whatever you can from that content. And obviously hoping with this channel I can create that same feel with what I put out here. But yeah, I mean, I really appreciate you being a longtime fan, tuning into the content and helping you, whatever it may be at that time. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you all for your support. I appreciate all the comments you left. There were a lot to choose from, so make sure to put your comments in this video so maybe you can make it to next week's video, because I want to read off at least 5 comments a week. I think that's the goal. So, but until then, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 2 of Talking to Myself. I really appreciate the continued love and support as always. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Put in the comments again, like I mentioned numerous times this episode, like put in the comments what I talked about, your favorite video games, Celsius flavors, Chipotle orders, favorite rides at Disney if you want. And then just put in the comments whatever you want. Maybe you'll make it to comment of the week next week. Check out all the other videos on this platform as well. Other wrestling content, other content in general. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And I hope you have a great week. I'll see you here for Talking to Myself episode 3, but you'll see me all week with content. So keep checking it out. Keep being you. Keep being awesome. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.